Jerry O'Hara remembers a time period when the Vietnam vets were not treated with respect or honor.
The manhunt continues tonight for 3 suspects who police say jumped in front of a car near the 800 block of Old Furnace Road. The Warner Drive-In has been a staple in Franklin, West Virginia for over 60 years. The idea of this event is to bring families and friends together for the holiday season. The video that you see here has gotten the attention of some JMU students, and it prompted them to take action. And the Golden Pony is going to be open tonight, serving breakfast until 5 in the morning. I just spoke with a family friend who confirmed with me that 16-year-old Emma Brust is safe and is with her family right now. This is actually my car. It's a 2011 Honda Civic. It's not one of the models being recalled, but if you own a 2001 to 2006 Civic, you may want to get the airbag in your vehicle to a dealership as soon as you can. If you have to use the major roads tomorrow for your commute or to get around, Harrisonburg police will be in the area. He says this vote isn't a defeat for the community, it's an opportunity. Live in Harrisonburg, Nick Payne, WHSV. Republicans can actually expect to win a slight majority of millennials at the polls tomorrow. Why don't you take a look at these numbers? Young people still favor a Democratic-led Congress, 50 to 43%. But for voters who say they will definitely vote tomorrow, the number jumps to 51% in favor of Republicans. A major shift could be coming for a common voting trend.
Are we going to vote?
Millennial votes are expected to be up for grabs in the midterm elections. The 18 to 29 age group has historically voted majority Democrat, but that may not be the case tomorrow.
It's a long time coming.
Wes Fisher is the chairman of the College Republicans at JMU. He says the vote swing comes down to a lack of progress.
The failed policies of Barack Obama and senators across America, like Mark Warner here in Virginia, have not been beneficial to young people.
The director of the Harvard Youth Poll believes the recession 6 years ago and the gridlock in Congress last year could be weighing heavily on young voters.
The least you can hope for is to be able to have a government that's governing for the people and representing the best interests of Americans. And right now, that's not what's happening.
Only a quarter of millennials are expected to vote tomorrow, something College Democrat President Megan DeMilo is keeping in mind.
Millennials still prefer Democrats in Congress. So having those two basically be opposite of each other, whether you're definitely voting or just the general public, I think is kind of an interesting way to look at it.
DeMilo says it's important for millennials to understand the role they play in these elections because the candidates are looking at them as an opportunity for swing votes.
That will encourage our generation to kind of step into the political sphere and have more of a voice in that.
Voices that will be heard in just a matter of hours. Now, one thing to note, President Barack Obama won the millennial vote in a landslide in the 2012 presidential election. His approval rating with young people now is down to 43%.
It's very special because that drive-in is one of a kind.
Each weekend, you could count on this parking area to be filled with cars as families came out to enjoy a night outside at the movies. Those nights are only memories now, as the Warner Drive-In has closed. But if you're a member of the Franklin community, this was more than a drive-in. It was something you grew up with.
Ever since I was old enough probably to crawl, yes, I've been running around down there at the drive-in on Friday and Saturday nights.
Jessica Basajic has strong ties to the drive-in. Her great-grandfather built it in 1952, and for 60 years, their family has been connected with it. Now she has a son of her own, who she hopes will be able to experience it again.
He always wants to go early so he can go play ball and football with his friends.
The community is trying to come up with ways to preserve the drive-in. The transition from traditional film to digital projection could cost between $75,000 and $80,000. A red book has been left at the Corner Shop Cafe downtown, where people can leave comments, suggestions, and inquiries. They're hoping that someone can step forward and purchase a grant that could go toward preservation, something Jessica hopes will happen.
It's just a place that needs to be opened back up, I feel, for my family to enjoy it, my children to grow up.
In Franklin, West Virginia, Nick Payne, WHSV. The Cross to Life is a nonprofit ministry prepared to help human trafficking victims through spiritual aid and education. Their plan is to have a place of refuge available for victims and provide them with any counseling or help that they may need to get through times of hardship.
Sometimes when we get hurt as a child or as an adult, we hold it in. But if we can take that hurt and turn it around and help someone else, that's the miracle of the bad things that happen in life, is to help someone else through it.
Abused as a child, Deborah Shoemaker considers it a dream come true to work on a project rescuing and restoring female victims of human trafficking.
I've never farmed in my life, so it was kind of a crazy thing.
A crazy ambition born from a vision. Dennis Taylor is the founder of the Cross to Life Farm Ministry. He says this project was put upon him as an act of God. Now, the ministry will use recently purchased farmland to build a shelter that will open by the summer.
Once we become nonprofit and really start receiving funding, then we can start housing rescued victims right away.
Taylor is using this time to reach out to area churches for support and prepare fundraising efforts. So far, feedback has been positive for a project that means so much to him.
For us to be able to have a part of that is truly a blessing of, reaching out, trying to help girls get rescued from the awful situations that they're placed in. And that's really, you can't think of a better time for that to take place than right here at Christmas.
Helping girls out through spiritual healing, and there's no better time to lend a hand than the Christmas season.
And now moving forward, their goal is to have the shelter open by this summer. And for more information, or if you'd like to help donate, we have the link on our website. Just click on this story at WHSV.com.
All right, Nick, thanks so much.
VDOT is hard at work making preparations for the busiest travel day of the year. That's tomorrow, the day before Thanksgiving. The Traffic Operations Center is where all of the action happens, and they're making sure that your trip is a safe one. Overnight rain will become morning snow. Whether you're traveling by plane, train, or automobile, conditions could prevent you from getting to your destination on time. I spoke with Greg Campbell at the Shenandoah Valley Regional Airport, and he told me delays could happen on Wednesday, but there is some flexibility in changing your scheduled flight. With Amtrak, the last trains leaving Stanton before the holiday is at 1:37 tomorrow afternoon. As for driving, VDOT Communications Specialist Ken Slack says the earlier you leave, the better. He also suggests being extra cautious on bridges and overpasses.
Those elevated surfaces will have cold air that is beneath them as well as above them, and that's why they freeze more quickly. So you really have to be careful of those kinds of surfaces and secondary roads that may not have as much of the chemical treatment as, say, an interstate or a primary road.
VDOT has provided information for preparations and precaution to keep you safe. You can find that information on our web channel at WHSV.com. In Stanton, Nick Payne, WHSV.